Thank you. Please be seated. Good evening, and welcome to the graduation of the Trinity Valley School Class of 2021. Thank you to everyone in attendance for making time to be with our class at this important milestone in our lifetimes. It brings me great joy to see in the audience so many familiar faces of friends, family, teachers, and others who have been instrumental to our growth. And I think each and every member of the Class of 2021 shares that sentiment. Your unflinching support is what brought us to this stage, so it is only fitting that you be here with us at the official end of our time at Trinity Valley. To my classmates, I'd like to extend the first of many congratulations you will hear tonight. While I hope to preserve tonight's cheerful, commemorative mood, I think that it's important we recognize what a privilege it is to be gathered here today after more than a year of uncertainty and tremendous change in our lives. Despite many shifting circumstances, I'm glad to say that we have the opportunity to walk across this stage like many classes did before us. Our class has accomplished many noteworthy things over the years that I look forward to honoring today. This ceremony is the culmination of years of hard work and an opportunity to look back on the memories made and lessons learned. As the rest of tonight's ceremony unfolds, I hope that you all will join me in both celebration and reflection. Thank you.
Welcome, graduates, faculty, trustees, parents, and families to our commencement ceremony for the class of 2021. The big day has arrived. To the families here and those watching via our live stream, including our beloved Mr. Cellini, doesn't it seem like just yesterday that they were heading off to school? Your care and support throughout this part of their lives has set a solid and loving foundation for these amazing young men and women. To the faculty and staff, you too have watched our graduates grow and learn. You have watched them and guided them in their coursework and in their co-curricular activities as they began to push themselves out of their comfort zones and begin to find their passion and purpose. To our trustees, you have held the school as stewards so that this school, this shining star, can benefit these graduates and many more like them. Students, soon to be alumni, you did it. You made it. As you begin to turn your minds to the next chapter of your lives, I encourage you to be trailblazers. Look at the world through your own lens and challenge yourselves to make it better. Discover the courageous voice within. Take courses in college because they interest you. Have conversations with those who have viewpoints that differ from your own. Be willing to innovate, travel, think, try. It is easy and safe to choose to be comfortable. There are certainly times when we all need to choose to be comfortable, but be open to adventure and to new opportunities. Show this world what you're made of. You have the brain power and the heart power to also make an impact. Today, we mark a beginning. After all, that is what the word commencement means, a beginning. Anything is possible. The chapter is yours to write. Make it meaningful. Do it your own way and enjoy every single minute. It is my pleasure now to introduce Mr. Joe Gallagher, President of the Board of Trustees. A TVS alumnus from the class of 1985, Joe is married to Lane Gallagher, father to Michael, a current TVS sophomore, as well as Megan and Morgan, both recent TVS graduates. Mr. Gallagher has served on the board for 8 years. Joe has given so much of his time and his heart to our school over the years. His leadership and experience and insight have strengthened Trinity Valley School. We are a better school for the service and dedication that Joe Gallagher provides. Please join me in welcoming our President of the Board of Trustees, Mr. Joe Gallagher.
Thank you, Blair. Good evening, everyone. As president of the Board of Trustees, it's my pleasure to welcome our graduating seniors, their families, and distinguished guests who are joining us both in person and virtually this year. This year has been anything but usual for all of us and for TVS. Despite the challenges, this class adapted and overcame the obstacles, and along the way achieved many great things in the classroom, in the arts, on the athletic fields, and in the community. Of course, these students are so much more than their accomplishments. They're truly wonderful young men and women who will accomplish great things in this world. To our graduates, I share this with you. Trinity Valley has prepared you well and better than you know at this point in your young lives. But what you may not realize at this point is just how much TVS will forever be a part of you. We are so proud of you and will always be here to welcome you home, so please come see us. To the members of the class of 2021, congratulations and best wishes as you continue your journey. It is now my great pleasure to introduce our commencement speaker for this evening. Mayor Betsy Price, a Fort Worth native, was elected in 2011 as the 44th mayor of the city of Fort Worth. In 2019, Mayor Price was reelected to a historic 5th term and is on track to be the longest-serving mayor in the city of Fort Worth. Mayor Price has been an active leader in Fort Worth community for years, serving on numerous boards, commissions, and professional associations. After running her own successful title company, Price Cornelius Title, for 17 years, Price turned to public service. Elected in 2000 to serve as Tarrant County's tax assessor, she transformed the assessor's office into one of the most efficient in the state of Texas, saving us taxpayers millions. Her roles as a businesswoman and community activist garnered her a reputation for being an innovator with strong leadership in solving some of the most pressing issues in one of Texas's fastest growing cities. Since taking office, Price has initiated a broad agenda founded in the values of fiscal responsibility, accessibility, transparency, and accountability. Mayor Price focuses her work on the basics of any growing city to ensure sustainability for future generations. Along with her emphasis on economic development, strengthening education, promoting public safety, and improving mobility, Price has made significant strides along the path toward her vision of a healthy and engaged, fiscally responsibly city. She's been married to Tom, an insurance agent, for more than 40 years and has 3 children. She's also a proud grandmother to her 6 grandchildren. We're honored to have her be part of our ceremony this evening. So ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming Mayor Betsy Price.
Good evening, everyone. What an exciting night. Thank you, Joe, and especially thank you to your fairly new head of school, Blair Lowry. We had a nice visit when you first came to town, Blair, and I know you've done wonderful things. Thank you to the faculty and to all the staff of Trinity Valley for trusting me to do your commencement speech tonight. And especially congratulations to you, Trojan class of 2021. You made it, especially through COVID. This is an exciting evening, not just for these students up here who can't wait to be finished, but for you parents and all the loved ones here today. I'm very proud of this class and of each and every one of you for being committed to see that your students got a great education. Fort Worth is incredibly proud of all of our students and all of our young adults. Today, you students will close a chapter on a very special portion of your life. You began high school as children, but you leave here as young adults. The faculty and staff at Trinity Valley have prepared you well. You've completed an excellent education that will serve as a launch pad into the future. No matter your future plans, my prayer is that you realize just how important you are to this city, to the country, and indeed to our world and our future. As a high school grad, your head is spinning from advice that you've heard from family, teachers, grandparents, your mentors, even some of your friends. I'm sure you've heard what it takes to succeed in the years ahead. I won't try to repeat that tonight, but instead I will leave you with 3 things that have been the cornerstone and have meant so much to me in life, and hopefully they will strike a chord with you. First, find your passion and pursue it. You weren't created simply to make a living and get by. You were created to leave this world a better place than you found it. I truly believe that, and I hope that you will think hard about that. I can tell you from experience, you'll have many choices after graduating high school. I thought I was going to be a veterinarian, and look where I am now. But I continued to grow and learn, experience different things, and found my passions elsewhere. A passion in starting a business and growing it. A passion for growing a family. Being a good wife, you might not get that from my husband. A passion to be an active mother and an engaged grandmother. But mostly a passion to serve my community in public office. I'm not sure if you caught that, but I've got a lot of passions, and you will too. The point is, don't limit yourself. Try different things. Find out what really energizes you. A busy world will pull you in every direction, and before you know it, you've wasted years and years and decades of your life and may not have anything to show for it. We can't buy time. It is a gift from God, so use it wisely. Here's my questions to you to think about as you move forward. What's your passion or passions? What is it that motivates you? How can those passions be directed into positive energy to make the world just a little bit better? What challenges await you and your generation? And more importantly, which challenges will you accept? What world will you leave for those who follow you? Children, grandchildren. It's amazing in the game of life how many people choose to sit on the bleachers. And from those bleachers, the opportunities always look bigger coming than they do going. I encourage you, don't stand along the sideline. Live life. Don't just survive it. No matter what your passion is and might be, find them, chart your course, and don't let anyone get in your way. Secondly, never give up. Just don't. It's closely related to your school motto, through difficulty to the stars. Your journey ahead will take you further, faster, and higher than any of us could dream about. Sometimes it's smooth sailing. Other times you're faced with strong headwinds and stormy seas. You'll certainly see your share of challenges. Responding to and surviving through a global pandemic has set the stage for you. The fact is, life isn't what it's supposed to be. Life is not always fair. Life is what it is. Think about that. It is what it is. You will make mistakes. Friends and loved ones will disappoint you, but they will delight you also, and they will love you. When it comes to the keys of success, right there next to the hard value of hard work is the value of perseverance. Believe me, we've all had our setbacks in life. You can either have a pity party, or you can pull yourself up, plant those good Texas boots, and try again. It's a matter of perspective. Failure and mistakes can define you, or they can only make you stronger. When the challenge comes, meet them head on. Don't be reticent to get there. Surround yourself with people who love you and solid mentors. Trust your gut and trust your conscience. Have confidence in doing the right thing for the right reasons. And lastly, give back. Our modern media built an industry around filling our heads with what defines success. But be careful with that. It's okay to want nice houses, nice cars, nice clothes, to enjoy life. Nothing wrong with that. We all want it, right? But it's not okay and it's not healthy to pursue material things at the expense of your own self or your family or your friends. In the end, your success won't be measured by fame or fortune. Success will be measured by the difference that you make in other people's lives. and those who you encounter, what difference you will leave with them. Seek out opportunities to serve. It's not hard to get wrapped up in your work. Believe me, I know. But when career takes complete control of your life, you miss out on other very important things. It could be a friend who needs you. It may be a spouse, a parent, a son or a daughter who just wants to spend time with you. It could be an opportunity to volunteer that you say, I'm too busy, not now, and it doesn't come again. A city isn't a community unless we are paying attention to one another, looking out for each other, and caring for those less fortunate. No matter where you go professionally, I challenge you to always live with a servant's heart. Serving takes many, many forms. You can serve in public school, you can mentor, read to kids, serve at your place of worship, or you might even run for public office. It's something I strongly recommend. Winston Churchill said, "We make a living by what we get, but we make a life simply by what we give." It's true, and believe me, nothing nourishes your soul more than helping others. Graduates, each and every one of you are on the edge of the future. It's not a distant reality anymore. It begins here, and it begins now. Right in front of you is a new beginning that will be more remarkable, more rewarding, and more challenging than anything you thought could be. But you're prepared for what lies ahead. Whether you know it or not, you've been given a wonderful gift, the kind of education that many would absolutely die to receive. No matter where the trail takes you, never forget, this world doesn't move by people who simply work to get by in life. Find your passion, face the challenges, big and small, live with compassion, and for goodness sakes, don't take yourself too seriously. Have a lot of fun. Your potential is great. Live up to it. You're well positioned. Congratulations. Go Trojans.
Thank you, Mayor Price. It truly is an honor to have you join us this evening and share with our soon-to-be graduates your words of wisdom. Good evening, everyone. At this time, I invite Mr. Paul Price, Science Department Chair, to the stage to present the Mary Jo Sloan Memorial Humanitarian Award. The aim of the Mary Jo Sloan Humanitarian Award is to recognize and reward students of outstanding scholarship, ability, and sterling character. This scholarship is awarded to a member of the graduating class of Trinity Valley School who, in the opinion of the administration and faculty, best displays integrity, sensitivity, unselfish service, responsibility and leadership, high moral commitment, and who show interest and promise in the health professions. It is my pleasure to announce that the recipient of the 2021 Mary Jo Sloan Memorial Humanitarian Award is Sophie Fine. Tonight's recipient is a true Renaissance woman. It seems as if there is literally nothing that Sophie cannot do. And because everything she does is completed at the highest level, we often wonder if somehow her day is more than 24 hours long. A leader who strives for excellence both in and out of the classroom, Sophie is a highly intelligent self-starter who embraces intellectual challenges and tackles them efficiently. Academically, she enjoys all of her subjects and is motivated by her love of learning and a desire to share that love with others. Her teachers find Sophie to be one of the most diligent and hardworking students at our school. Wise beyond her years, Sophie is an empowered member of our community with a strong moral compass. She will be a valuable asset to Vanderbilt University, where she will be matriculating this fall, because she immerses herself fully into academic life, student organizations, and volunteer opportunities. Congratulations, Sophie. Mr. James Scott, upper school history teacher, will now present the Christy Thornton Memorial Award. No applause for Mr. Scott? The Christy Thornton Memorial Award is named after Christy, a 1991 graduate of Trinity Valley School. During her years at TVS, Christy was an outstanding and popular student. She was especially distinguished as a writer, and shortly before her death, she was invited into a special academic program for writing at the University of Texas at Austin. This memorial award is given to a member of the graduating class who displays intelligence, independent thought, creativity, and a genuine humanitarian conviction. I am pleased to announce that the recipient of the 2021 Christy Thornton Memorial Award is Karthika Nambiar. Like Christy, Karthika approaches everything she does with thoughtfulness, creativity, enthusiasm, and determination. While she has been at TVS for only a short time, Karthika hit the ground running and quickly immersed herself in numerous activities. She has graced our campus with her creative contributions to Thalia as an editor, Film Club as the co-founder and president, as well as an active role with our theater community as costume designer, stage manager, and prop master. Karthika loves learning about different ways of life and different ways of thinking, so it is natural that she was a member of the Junior World Affairs Council and served as its vice president. Last June, Karthika participated in Texas Girls State, sponsored by the American Legion Auxiliary, where she was elected city manager. In conjunction with her Girls State experience, she is a gifted student leader who is well respected by her peers and classroom teachers. Karthika will be a valuable asset to the University of California, Irvine, where she will be enrolling this fall. Congratulations. Dr. Wei Ming, 2001, President of the Alumni Association, will now make the presentation of the Navin Narayan Community Service Award for Outstanding Volunteer Service. This award is in memory of Navin Narayan, valedictorian of the TVS Class of 1995, and honors the graduating senior or seniors who have exceeded the community service requirement of 60 hours and have demonstrated outstanding leadership and dedication in volunteerism. This year, we will honor co-recipients. It is my honor to announce that our first recipient of the 2021 Navin Narayan Community Service Award is Naeem Adie. Naeem is an exceptional scholar, musician, and environmentalist. During his time at TVS, he introduced our community to the Baha'i faith, which lays out a moral and virtuous code of conduct for individuals to be kind, respectful, and caring to others. It also advances the notions of gender equality, racial harmony, and the importance of serving one's community and the larger world as a whole. An avid and committed environmentalist, Naeem founded the TVS Green Team to address critical environmental issues, assist school administrators with developing environment-related programming, and to advance on-campus recycling initiatives. Additionally, he served as an intern for the residential composting pilot program for the city of Fort Worth. Matriculating at Princeton University this fall, Naeem is friendly, respectful, and humble, and an individual who is on a path to change the world for the better. We have no doubt he will do just that. Congratulations. It is now my pleasure to announce our second recipient of the 2021 Navin Narayan Community Service Award, and that person is Maya Farmer. Described by her TVS teachers as conscientious, Kind, diligent, and hardworking, Maya is a true servant leader with meaningful involvement in several volunteer activities. She is also a student who exudes genuine kindness, seeks inclusivity, and fosters connections with classmates and faculty. Serving as co-director of both the Trojan Sisterhood and community service clubs on campus, she completed over 400 hours of community service and worked closely with administration to identify COVID-safe service opportunities for upper school students. While community service is required for graduation, the added responsibility of developing and coordinating service activities during a pandemic presented an extra layer of challenge for Maya this past year. Deeply spiritual and possessing a strong moral compass, she is active within her church and serves on the student leadership team, which helps to plan, coordinate, and serve at youth-sponsored events. Maya will, most assuredly, be an asset to Texas Christian University, where she is matriculating this fall. Congratulations, Maya. Miss Blair Lowry, head of school, will now present the school's highest award, the Trinity Valley School Award of Excellence. This award, determined by the vote of the upper school faculty, is given to the member of the graduating class who is most recognized for his or her strength of character, integrity, service, leadership, and academic excellence. It is my pleasure to announce, on behalf of the upper school faculty, that the recipient of the 2021 Trinity Valley School Award of Excellence is Caroline Sloter. While Caroline is known throughout our community to be an exemplary academic, dancer, and thespian, there are so many facets to this remarkable young woman that it's difficult to pare down her many accomplishments and talents to a narrow few. She is someone who can be counted on no matter the situation, is always inclusive, and in many ways represents the very best of our school and of her generation. Dedicating much of her time to the performing arts, Caroline exploits her creative talents within TVS's robust theater program, where she has been cast in various roles and has repeatedly served as a choreographer. Beyond TVS, Caroline proactively finds opportunities where she can readily make a difference in her community. For several summers, she has volunteered as a counselor to a group of children at Camp Impact, a free day camp in the DFW area for abused and underprivileged children. Additionally, she is active with both Fort Worth Federation Temple Youth and the North American Federation Temple Youth for the Texas-Oklahoma region. Enrolling at Tulane University this fall, Caroline is truly an exemplar of all the fine qualities and values that TVS holds most dear. Congratulations, Caroline. The graduating senior who excels in a highly rigorous course of study, demonstrates mastery at the highest level, and consistently produces his or her best work will be named the valedictorian. The student who performs at the next highest level in a similarly rigorous course of study will be named salutatorian. This year, we are pleased to honor 2 students as valedictorians and 1 student as salutatorian. Please come forward and be recognized. The salutatorian for the class of 2021 is Naeem Adie. Now it is my pleasure to introduce and call to the stage our co-valedictorians for the class of 2021, Kishan, Kalaria, and Christopher Peszanovsky. Kishan will share his valedictory address first, followed by Christopher. Kishan Kalaria is an academic powerhouse in the truest sense of the term. What is most impressive about Kishan is his true thirst for knowledge for the sake of knowing. His curiosity about the world around him and a depth of knowledge makes him beloved by teachers and respected by peers. Kishan tackles the rest of his life with the same enthusiasm and passion he has for academics. He has been an active contributor to numerous clubs at TVS. As a 4-year member of the debate team, Kishan competed at the highest level and received national recognition with an invitation to the Tournament of Champions. Also notable is Kishan's role as student body president this year. He works in this capacity with an understanding that he is a role model for his peers and for the younger students. Each week, Kishan facilitated our upper school assembly via Zoom with multiple presenters and imparted a bit of wisdom and encouragement to his peers as they navigated COVID and social distancing expectations. Kishan has been a strong leader in student council and countless other activities through his ability to listen, synthesize ideas, and lead by example. Yet despite his many talents, he is exceedingly humble, gracious, kind, and embodies the 4 pillars of the school's mission. Recently named a Jefferson Scholar, Kishan will matriculate at the University of Virginia this fall, where he will, most assuredly, continue to make TVS proud. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage our first co-valedictorian for the class of 2021, Kishan Kalaria.
Thank you, Mr. Kahuta. Good evening once again to the Trinity Valley faculty, members of the Board of Trustees, students, friends, and family. It is my distinct honor to have the opportunity to speak before you tonight. Before I provide you with some meditations on my experience at TVS, I'd like to extend my thanks to a few groups of people. First and foremost, I'd like to thank my classmates. Your energy and passion are why my education at TVS was so rewarding. Next, thank you to the teachers and coaches who have supported my academic and extracurricular development over the years. Many of you helped spark the interests that guide and motivate me today. Thank you to the TVS administration and health team for making sure that we could attend school in person for our final year. Finally, thank you to my family for always being in my corner and laying the groundwork that allowed me to get to where I am on this stage. To the class of 2021, I commend you. We have faced much adversity as a nation, community, and individuals, particularly during the latter half of our time in high school. I believe that those adversities helped us grow and provided us with a new sense of autonomy. I know many of you have discovered things that you deeply care about and channeled the downsides of COVID into productivity and independence. I also know that we have learned to not take for granted normalcy and appreciate that which we overlooked in years past. For me, this last year has been one with no shortage of reflection on my time at TVS. Interestingly enough, the thing that prompted me to learn one of my biggest lessons from TVS was the college interview process. In preparation for my interviews, I found myself thinking back on my time at Trinity Valley and all of the things that I had done right, the accomplishments that would make me a good sell to the interviewer and demonstrate that I was a good fit for that specific institution. On several occasions, however, my preparation was thrown to the wind. One such instance was when my interviewer asked me what my biggest regret of high school was. I paused and took some time to collect my thoughts and reflect. Of course, there were the regrets that many of us have regarding classes and extracurriculars that immediately came to my mind. But I knew none of those were the most significant. Eventually, I came to the conclusion that my biggest regret of high school was that I did not start to cultivate important relationships with you all, my peers, as early as I would have liked. I've known some of you for the majority of my life, yet we only became closer friends during senior year. It's pretty funny that it took isolation brought about by a global pandemic to come to terms with the fact that I had always taken relationships for granted. Having a huge chunk of my time as an upperclassman stripped away from me was a slap in the face and forced me to consider that I only had so much time left to make memories and form bonds with y'all before graduation. And while by its nature is a regret, this realization that I had been approaching relationships improperly for 17 years was somewhat disappointing. I like to focus on the fact that I understood this truth sooner rather than later. I became closer with a good number of you during senior year, and I'm always thankful that I was able to make this much-needed change in my life. My newfound recognition doesn't change the fact that some of us might still feel a lack of connection to one another, but like an ideal A-push thesis statement, this is only true to an extent. Yes, there are some of us who have not had many conversations with each other in our time at TVS, and there are others who have been super close friends since kindergarten or even preschool. The degree to which each of us relates to our peers is subjective, but most concerns regarding my biggest regret are assuaged by the objective fact that TVS connects us as a community. I may not have had many conversations with some of you, but I can be fairly certain that we shared a collective frustration at the hordes of upperclassmen who mobbed the lunch line when we were freshmen. I may not have seen some of you in months, but it's not unlikely that we were both pelted by ice during the freshman year ice fight. I may have never taken a class with some of you in my 13 years at TVS, but there's still a pretty high probability that you and me both remember how entertaining it was when someone we know quite well broke the intelligent citizenship sign in the Commons. It's important to consider that it was not simply the fact that a sign was broken that amused us, but also that the sign was something particular to our community, as intelligent citizenship is one of TVS's pillars. When we underwent these types of experiences as TVS students, it drew us together. After graduation, the truth is that a lot of us may never speak again. We will go forth and form new relationships with those beyond TVS. As you take this step outside the confines of our school, I hope that you will seek out people who will have a meaningful impact on your lives. Many years down the line from now, when we're surrounded by different circles of friends, we may forget each other's names, but I'm confident that we will remember the small details and the memories integral to our TVS experience. The relationships between us have changed our identities, so for better or for worse, the rest of the grade will stay with you. I'm not a fan of reducing one's life down to chapters, like your time in high school or in college, or your time as single or married, because it often results in confining our desires to the expectations of that given chapter. Do what you want to do, and don't let periods in your life dictate what that looks like. Graduation thus marks neither the end nor the beginning. It is simply one day in our life's journey where you happen to receive a diploma, look back, and hopefully celebrate. I'll leave you with a quote by DJ Khaled as you continue along in this journey. Keep going.
Thank you, Kishan, for your insightful words. And for those of you who saw his mortarboard as he was walking out, you'll note that the colors sort of match the inside of my hood, if you could see it. You can't see it. I'm just realizing I'm looking at myself on the screen. But trust me, they're the same. And I'd like to think that my star has just been elevated a little bit by sharing an institution with this young man you just heard from. So, Kishan, we wish you the best as you navigate new relationships at UVA. Our next co-valedictorian, Christopher Peszanovsky, is a true scholar and has an intellectual curiosity that is insatiable. He strives for fine academic scholarship in his endeavors and seeks mastery and understanding of complex concepts. Chris does not simply sit in class and retain information for himself. He is a positive contributor who elevates class discussion. Some may think that a student like Chris with such strong academic gifts would be one-dimensional. This is quite the opposite for Chris, has his extracurricular activities as a very diverse set, allowing him to make meaningful connections and contributions to our community. As principal, first chair violist with Fort Worth Youth Orchestra and TVS Upper School Ensemble, Chris commits countless hours to daily practice and weekly rehearsals. The same passion Chris has for music, he also steers to community service, specifically for children with special needs. For several summers, he has volunteered as a teacher assistant at a local special needs school and as a camp counselor at Camp Barnabas, a special needs camp for children in Missouri. Chris has a brilliant mind, a caring heart, and embraces our school mission of fine scholarship and wide constructive interests. TVS is fortunate to have a young man like Chris to set such a positive example for others, and the University of Chicago will be equally fortunate when he enrolls there this fall. Please join me in welcoming to the podium our second co-valedictorian for the class of 2021, Christopher Pesinoski.
Thank you, Mr. Guido. I don't know that I would have chosen to follow the speech and debate champion, but I'll try to do my best here. So, writing this speech, I scoured my mind for some piece of philosophical advice I could give that would perfectly encapsulate our time in high school. Then I remembered a certain book I read in French this year, thanks to Madame Dodson, Voltaire's Candide. The main character, Candide, travels the entire world in search of a universal philosophy that could explain life. Along the way, he makes friends and enemies, experiences successes and failures, and even encounters unforeseen disease at one point. He ultimately ends up on a small farm, where he gives up on this philosophical quest and instead decides that the best way to live life is simply to tend to one's own garden. Therefore, I, too, will not attempt to tie a bow on some profound revelation, but will instead speak on the personal experiences of myself and those who have gone around this world with me the last 4 years. I was new to TVS as a freshman, and coming from a large public school, it took some time to appreciate the unique academic culture here. However, a pivotal moment in this understanding occurred when I stepped foot in Miss Burkhead's pre-calculus class and heard her rendition of Bobby Brown's My Prerogative, which she had readapted as My Derivative. I was later formally introduced to these appropriately named only at TVS moments. Once informed of them, I began to notice these moments everywhere and have continued to since. Only at TVS does a physics lecture on Newton's laws become an open class discussion of free will. Only at TVS do students in Mr. Kinney's con law class wear full suits to school for a mock trial. And only at TVS does the track team discuss the centripetal force acting on them as they run laps. So, pretty quickly after arriving, I began to understand that TVS was a different kind of school, and our teachers have especially exemplified this with the visible passion they have for their subjects. Dr. Johnson, reciting the Canterbury Tales in Middle English as we search for the perfect face to look like we understand. Mr. Gaiman, telling us both about planetary orbit and his lifelong dream to play poker on the moon. But beyond that, our teachers have always been patient with us at the low points. When we pour out the entire contents of our lab solution and stand there in complete disbelief at what we've just done, Mr. Price is always there to say something somehow both reassuring and ominous. When we write that infinite for loop that crashes our entire computer, a rite of passage in AP Comp Sci, Dr. Taylor's there to tell us the cringy dad joke of the day. Our teachers have had a vested interest in our growth from day one, not by preventing our failure, but rather by helping us to embrace it with confidence. Every course has provided insights and tools applicable beyond the classroom. History classes have taught us that the hammer is what we choose it to be. History is in the eye of the beholder, and the stories we tell are shaped by those who tell them. Math and science classes have equipped us to discover the patterns and logic in the natural world, that there is a beautiful order in a seemingly chaotic universe. English and language classes have proven to us the significance of culture and what it reveals about the people and societies that produce it. Our school is not limited, though, to those who roam its walls, and is perhaps best represented by the larger community which surrounds it. For that, we thank the parents whose help and encouragement got us here, and for whom the empty nest might be a little more welcome after the quarantine of 2020. We also thank the siblings who, more than anyone else in our lives, keep us humble. To my brother Jack, your naps during my orchestra concerts always helped keep my ego in check. And I will miss your impromptu High School Musical concerts at 7 a.m. To everyone, friends, family, teachers, and administrators, you have all invested in us and our futures, and we carry a part of you as we walk across the stage tonight. Traditionally, I would say some things here about how change is really scary and how we're about to enter into this unprecedented stage in our lives. But let's be real, our TVS bubble was popped a year ago, and since then, unprecedented has been the theme of our education. Seriously, who would have imagined 4 years ago that our class would be the one to go down in history? And with every Zoom class, MedBot check-in, and massed athletic event, that history is being written in the present. Let us appreciate the simple fact that we are the first class ever to complete a full school year in the midst of a global pandemic. We have lived per aspera ad astra, through difficulties, mandatory quarantine, called off games, canceled traditions. We have come back every time, and we are now equipped, more than any other class, to go to the stars. So yes, change is scary, but we, class of 2021, are at home in a challenge. So let us approach the next 4 years with welcome anticipation, not with blind naivety, but with resolute optimism. We came, we saw, and we conquered, and we'll do it again. I have tremendous respect for every student on stage, not just in what they've done to get here, but in what they will do going forth. With that said, I encourage you to take a piece of TVS with you as you leave. It doesn't have to be a physical piece, although I did take a piece of the old track as a souvenir, but take something. Take the camaraderie cultivated over toe trips, touchdowns, and tech weeks. Take the work ethic instilled through take-home tests, two-a-days, and timed writings. But above all, take the appreciation for learning that the school so thoroughly fosters. Because after this moment, we have a choice. We can choose to accept our diplomas, walk off stage, and be content with our limited understanding of the world. Or we can choose to seek out knowledge, and with it, reason and truth. We can choose to forever remain students. Thank you and congratulations to the class of 2021.
Thank you for sharing your only at TVS moments with us, Christopher. We have no doubt you will have similar moments at the University of Chicago in the coming years. So as a new division head, I've done this a few times now, or been new to a school, particularly in high school. The relationship that you're able to form, hopefully, with the senior class is pretty important in sort of establishing what sort of first year it's going to be and sort of sliding into the next years. And I'm very thankful to say that this class has been very kind, very welcoming, very generous with their time and sharing of themselves, and I've so appreciated their efforts in that regard. And certainly they're a strong group, and they're a strong group because they value and appreciate one another for their differences and their individuality. So in that spirit, I want to share a little personal tribute that I've prepared specifically for the Trinity Valley School class of 2021. We're drawing near the end. Thanks for your patience, parents and friends. I truly hope you've enjoyed this celebration. But I have a few things to say before the students walk the stage and right into their last high school vacation. I'll celebrate the graduates in verse. Hope my rhymes aren't the worst. We'll proceed from the Z to the A's. Seniors behind, I can't see. Hope they're not laughing at me as I share with all of you my highest praise. Sweet Molly Zimmerman, talented thespian, leader and yearbook queen Lauren Yonke, cheer captain K.A. Wiley, delightfully smiley, musician Luke Wilson's always on key. White comma Taylor lifts our spirits without failure. Thomas Swinton surely loves aeronautics. If athletic toughness were a job, I'd hire Logan Straub. Charlotte Stevenson's designs are hypnotic. Sam Strinka loves basketball and is friendly above all. Maika Summers is creative and courageous. Cheerful Caroline Snow, resident photography pro. Caroline Sloter's performance skills are outrageous. Judith Sital's artistic and smart with a volunteer's heart. Brendan Shaw is a true scholar and athlete. Brooke Rosen's favorite sport takes place on tennis courts. Julie Razzo's sincere engagement is so sweet. Aiden Rajan's sporty and witty, carries the ball past the 50. Francophilic violist Peszanovsky is a runner. Renaissance man Perryman Teddy, look out world, hope you're ready. Molly Perez, outdoorsy theater-loving drummer. Gita Paladugu, upper school community super strong glue, and Karthika Nambiar is an aspiring playwright. Here comes Lexi Mund, catching fastballs for fun. Stylish Callie Mitchell's heart much larger than her height. Outdoorsman Grayson Miller, resume stuffed, none of it filler. Jenna Marie Milan is a powerhouse on the diamond. Kind and stacked Stephen Midgley, find him lifeguarding at Ridgely. And it's theater that Devin Messicky spends time on. Blacksmithing McGowan, Colin, no matter the task, he is all in. Luke McDonald is so supportive and athletic. Madeline Masterson cheers and plays soccer. In painting, you can't top her. Nicole Markle's a scholar and beautifully balletic. For volleyballer Jackson Maples, competitive effort is a staple. Wish Lorimer's always in command on stage. Perrin Lopez is so talented and a kind, passionate friend. Jacob Levy's book features China, first page. Tech savvy and a drummer too, here's to you, Connor Liu. Alex Lerma defines intercultural devotion. Martial arts skills are focal for Kartesi Kamasokol. To the stars, problem-solving William Koshin. Rowan Clethermus is balanced, a world citizen with many talents. Artsy athletic Arden Kenny's strong in every way. Enterprising Cartman Annabelle, her kindness makes our hearts swell. Debater scholar Kishan Kalaria's got much to say. Nice guy Jack Jorgensen excels at soccer, watch him run. Kendu Carter Howell excels in sports, school, and more. Volunteer Ariana Howard, when it comes to work, no coward. Bryson Hooker loves his hockey, watch him score. Danielle Hernandez perseveres, earns respect of teachers and peers. Football and cattle breeding counselor Hayden Hedge. Josh Haddon comes next, good with debate, fly fishing, and text. On the basketball courts where David Gracia finds his edge. Grant Gillespie is a pilot, and on stage, no shrinking violet. Ricardo Garcia is a hard-working linguist. Resilient Maddie Fry, athlete, kind, and always tries. At flying and pageantry, Delaney Flynn's distinguished. Musical fine, Sophie. For science, we gave her a trophy. Also designer and service-minded Maya Farmer. Musician with leadership wherewithal, there goes scholar Andrea Espinal. Sarah Ibrahim, a loyal scout and friendly charmer. Cole Draper enjoyed his time on the field, also his artist talent revealed. Ellie Davis, a justice-seeking language lover. Gracie Daly is quite adept at school, sports, community, and friendship too. Dancing Claire Dacey moves like she could almost hover. Eager student and coder Mary Chen, also a committed thespian. True bravery and effort will take Deb Carreno far. French and volleyball aren't that hard if you love them like Finn Kennard. Thoughtful Patrick Cairo, far more than just a b-ball star. Bradford Bush, what can't he do? We'll be closely watching you. Then athlete friend, super nice guy Jared Busby. Technology-loving, conscientious, and fun must be Logan Buffington. Megan Briscoe can't possibly act so swell, or does she? Curious and kind Gage Brazell, all things performing he does well. Enthusiastic contributions to term for Walker Bowerman. Talented and engaged Ali Ballou, the faculty sure love you. Paige Beckish, how many sports can one compete in? Humorous student, athlete, and bass, also strong in art, and she crafts. Hockey, softball clubs, and more for that Claire Baker. Kind and thoughtful, on lots of teams, Bahrami, Radine. Sophia Pell's a beautiful soul, for that I thank her. Considerate Andrews, Grace, both toe and kindergarten her happy place. Quiet leader Luke Anderson impresses and has no foes. Dedicated Zion Amtahares, reflective, also in social justice and sports, effective. Kind Jenna Allen, dedicated to grades and equestrian shows. Reading, writing, and leading cheers. Lily Itelli is active with her peers. Now there's just one senior who's still left to share. Academics, service, and participation a dream. We're wowed by Adie Naeem, class of 2021 filled with talent and with flair. Congratulations, class of 21. Today is your day. It's now time to award the diplomas. Joining us on stage as we celebrate the presentation of diplomas are Mr. Joe Gallagher, President of the Board of Trustees, Mayor Betsy Price, Dr. John O'Reilly, assistant head of the upper school, Mr. Jeff Snyder, head of the middle school, and Ms. Sandy McNutt, head of the lower school. We've asked our dignitaries to remain seated and offer their congratulations verbally to members of the class of 2021 as they collect their diplomas. Sorry, take just a moment to get organized. You can all play a game while you're waiting. Where will they pop up? There we go. Okay. Naeem Alexander Forsgren Audier, 3 years. Lily Caroline Itelli, 6 years. Jenna Ann Allen, 13 years. Zion Lauren Amtohaire, 5 years. Luke William Anderson, 10 years. Grace Maureen Andrews, 13 years. Sophie Julianne Appel, 13 years. Radin Bahrami, 13 years. Claire Marie Baker, 13 years. Ann Haley Bass, 13 years. Paige Danielle Beckish, 13 years. Aliana Baloo, 8 years. William Walker Bowerman, 13 years. Gage Whitaker Brazel, 8 years. Megan Elizabeth Briscoe, 13 years. Timothy Logan Buffington, 13 years. Jared Alexander Busby, 13 years. Bradford Byers Bush, 8 years. Patrick Carroll Cairo, 4 years. Finn Christopher Kennard, 13 years. Deborah Alejandra Carreno, 4 years. Mary Chen, 3 years. Mary Chen is unable to join us this evening from China, but we extend to her our sincere congratulations. Claire Duvall Dacey, 13 years. Gracie Nicole Dolly, 7 years. Eleanor Wynne Davis, 13 years. David Cole Draper, 8 years. Sarah Ali Ibrahim, 13 years. Andrea Mirka Espinal, 4 years. Maya Beth Farmer, 4 years. Sophie Paige Fine, 13 years. Delaney Kate Flynn, 5 years. Madeline Malone Fry, 13 years. Ricardo Zahid Garcia, 4 years. Grant Ritchie Gillespie, 13 years. David Walter Gracia, 4 years. Joshua Bentley Haddon, 4 years. Hayden Brantz Hedge, 2 years. Danielle Maya Hernandez, 9 years. Bryson Campbell Hooker, 12 years. Ariana Simone Howard, 9 years. Carter Baker Howell, 8 years. Gordon Jack Jorgensen, 13 years. Kishan Vijay Kalaria, 13 years. Annabelle Grace Karpman, 13 years. Arden Ruth Kenny, 3 years. Rowan Elizabeth Clethermis, 13 years. William Michael Koshin, 11 years. Sokol Kertesi, 6 years. Alex Lerma, 4 years. Connor Christopher Liu, 5 years. Jacob Barrett Levy, 13 years. Perrin Elias Lopez, 7 years. Wishard Spear Lorimer V, 5 years. Jackson Steele Maples, 13 years. Nicole Marie Markle, 3 years. Madeline Maxwell Masterson, 4 years. Luke Bradley McDonald, 4 years. Colin Michael McGowan, 13 years. Devin Messicky, 13 years. Stephen Baines Midgley, 8 years. Jenna Marie Milan, 11 years. Grayson Prescott Miller, 8 years. Callan Marjorie Mitchell, 9 years. Alexis Nicole Mund, 11 years. Karthika Adelium Nambiar, 3 years. Gitanjali Paladugu, 13 years. Amelia Catherine Perez, 13 years. Theodore Joseph Perryman, 5 years. Christopher Matthew Peszanovsky, 4 years. Aiden Thomas Rajan, 8 years. Juliana Razzo, 4 years. Brooke Brienne Rosen, 13 years. Brendan Nitsa Shaw, 8 years. Judith Guadalupe Satal, 4 years. Caroline Emery Sloter, 13 years. Caroline Marie Snow, 13 years. Maika Tate Summers, 13 years. Samuel Robert Shrenka, 13 years. Charlotte Brooke Stevenson, 9 years. Logan McCain Straub, 9 years. Thomas Gregory Swinton, 13 years. Taylor Umu White, 12 years. Lucas Monroe Wilson, 6 years. Catherine Ann Wiley, 13 years. Lauren Elizabeth Yonke, 13 years. Molly Hannah Zimmerman, 5 years. Graduates, today is your day to remember, to celebrate, and to cherish. You've definitely earned it. We wish you the best, and we too celebrate your achievement and promise of the lives ahead of you. Thank you all for being here this evening. We'll now invite Taylor White, president of the senior class, to offer farewell remarks. Graduates, please rise. Here she comes.
High school was easy. No. I'm serious. It was super easy. But I can't say the same thing about college, and it scares the heck out of me. I'm not trying to be cocky. High school had its challenges. Whether it was struggling AP classes or listening to Mr. Scott's crazy history stories, we all knew we would get through it. With our teachers mentally challenging us every day, instilling resilience in us, with parents that imprinted our great values that we hold so deeply today, and an interdependent student body where no one was to be denied or left behind. I mean, Vegas couldn't bet against us. It was a perfect recipe for success. But college is different. They say the teachers are great, but that could just be a good advertising. There's thousands of strangers who won't care if you are being left for dead. Our parents will be hours and even states away. Actually, that doesn't sound too bad. Yet, still, when I look at the graduates here tonight, I see doctors, engineers, businessmen and women, educators, and cryptocurrency billionaires. I mean, you name it. And our loved ones and faculty in the audience see the exact same thing. The fact that they believe in us, that we believe in each other, is how I know we are prepared for this brave new world. So forget about the doubts and immerse yourself in the beauty of the unknown. Trust yourself as much as those who are here with us tonight who trust you. We will always have this undying support system of TVS. And our families, we thank you so much. We appreciate everything you have done for us. And as long as we have them, we can achieve anything. All we need to do is continue to forgive each other and let brotherhood prevail. So, class of 2021, congratulations and hook 'em.
While our graduates celebrate this milestone event, we ask that the audience remain seated until the stage dignitaries and our new graduates have recessed through the foyer and outside. Afterwards, you are welcome to meet your graduate outside. Out of respect for others, we encourage all graduates and family members to remain socially distant from others. Thank you. Taylor back there? Just one moment. Ms. Lowry, Mr. Gallagher, Mayor Price, Dr. O'Reilly, Mr. Snyder, Ms. McNutt, the Board of Trustees, Trinity Valley faculty and staff, and family and friends, I present to you the class of 2021. Graduates, you may now move your tassel from right to left. And let the celebration begin.